If there was a world-class ranking system for weirdest cars ever produced, the Subaru Baja would be way up on that list. And if you ask a bunch of random people on the side of the street what their first impressions would be, those would come back as it's one of the ugliest vehicles that they've ever seen. Back in the early 2000s, this was considered an extremely undesirable vehicle, and it's no surprise that it was only produced for a few short years before getting discontinued. But I would like to tell you that isn't the case anymore. If you ever get a chance to talk to anyone who's part of the Subaru Baja community, they would share with you why there is so much to love in these funky little cars. Back in the year 2002, the first Bajas started rolling off the assembly line at the Lafayette, Indiana plant. The Baja was built on the Subaru Legacy BH-BE platform, which makes this vehicle extremely customizable. In fact, it can fill a spot all across the spectrum of the car community, not just in its own class. The car has found a home in the lifted, lowered, and track car clubs. A good amount of enthusiasts like to off-road their Bajas and join the lifted and overlanding community. I myself like to lean this way. But it can also be the perfect car if you're into lowering or joining the stance community. And it's pretty easy to do. The suspension on the Legacy platform is extremely flexible, so going up or down can be achieved with relative ease. And honestly, it looks pretty good in both respective categories. Then, take it one step further. In 2004, the Baja got its EJ255 turbo setup, the same setup that they were putting in the WRX, giving the tuners something to play with. And they, in turn, taking it to its limits by doing a complete STI swap, then competing in track days and rallycross. The Baja only came with a 3-foot truck bed, and you would think if that's all the room that they're going to offer you, why not instead buy a Subaru Outback and have all your items secured in the car and protected from the rain and the elements, not to mention that you can lock the vehicle so everything would be protected. Also, because it is such an extremely small truck bed, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why the Baja sold so horribly. You can buy a tailgate extender which would push the bed out 48 inches, but still, that is not a lot of room to work with. But I would like to show you guys some proof that you're only limited to your imagination and ratchet straps. A lot of ratchet straps. All of us in the Subaru Baja community have a bit of fun with what we like to call doing truck stuff. And it can get a little insane with how people manage to make the Baja work. Yes, we all know the Baja was built on the Legacy platform, making it technically a car. But we are extremely adamant about these vehicles being referred to as a truck. As you all can see, there has been an insane amount of jobs and tasks our mighty Bajas have accomplished, even if sometimes it probably shouldn't have been in the first place. Now then, let's take a break from what I have to say. Let's hear from some fellow Baja enthusiasts and see what this little Subaru means to them.
Hey Jake, definitely like your channel and appreciate you giving the Baja some love. My Baja story is pretty interesting. I've always had cars that were manual, and for the first time in my life didn't have one, so I started looking around at some manual options and actually saw Doug DeMuro's review of the Turbo Baja, and I kind of remembered it from back in the day. I said, man, that looks fun, but pretty hard to find, right? Well, kind of put that on the back burner and just looked randomly over a year or so, and finally came up with one. This one's pretty unique in that, one, it's the manual turbo, 2, it has relatively low miles, just over 100,000, and 3, it's rust-free, almost completely rust-free, and 4, completely stock other than an updated radio. So pretty hard to find that combination of all those. As far as I know, there's only 1,455 turbo manual Bajas that were ever made, and obviously a lot less that are left on the road today. So I'm gonna take good care of this one. So here's the EJ255. It's a turbo flat 4. So the deal was with this engine that even though relatively low miles, just over 100,000 miles, it was having a cylinder misfire, and it ended up being a valve issue inside. So I had the engine removed. I had the whole top end rebuilt from the block up, replaced everything else that I could while I was in the engine bay, like clutch, flywheel, all the hoses, everything, timing belt. So I should be good to go for a long time now. And here is the inside with the manual. So it's a lot of fun. And also obviously gives you the practicality that the Baja is known for. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. Take it easy.
This is my '06 Baja automatic transmission, non-turbo as you can see. It's approaching 246,000 miles. It's on its second engine, a transplant from a Forester. The things I like about it, as you can see, I make good use of the bed extender to carry firewood and also the beach trash I pick up. My vehicle has a 2-inch lift, and you can see the snorkel after a little scare with a hydro lock. Messing around a little bit, I don't do that no more. I turn around, I don't drown, and I do reconnaissance before I try to forge anything. I'm not an off-roader. I'm a beach goer, and I try to clean up beaches. I've made the trip across the United States with this puppy. 4,000 plus miles, Newport, Rhode Island and back. Thank you, bye.
Hi, my name is John. I live in Canyon City, Colorado, and I'd like to introduce you to my 2005 naturally aspirated Subaru Baja. I got it at a salvage auction in Denver, and the party selling it was Vehicles for Vets. So I overbid a little bit and hopefully helped out a disabled veteran in the process. It is not clean, and it's not clean for a reason, because that's the way it generally stays. It's an outdoor car, and it was sideswiped when I bought it. It had a blown engine, and I didn't care. I knew that I was going to put a new engine in whatever Baja that I bought. It goes off-road often. It takes us to trailheads. We own a off-grid cabin about 45 miles and at about 8,000 feet, and this thing gets us there safely every single time. The interior is dirty just like the outside is because we use it. I went ahead and put what you may think is ridiculous, but I love them. The sheepskin gray cloth covered. They're warm in the wintertime and cool in the summer, and it covers up the inevitable crack that you get in the driver's side seat. Back is made for dogs. We have 2 of them. They jump right in. We got a little cover for them. They dig right in the Baja. And of course, I've got some safety orange vests in the back for when I go back to Copart to look for more Bajas. I am hooked. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my video. I enjoyed making it, and I enjoyed driving a Baja.
Hi, my name is Connor Fleetwood out of Corvallis, Oregon. This is my 2005 Subaru Baja. It has 232,000 miles on it, and I picked it up at 173,000 miles. It is my daily. It's well taken care of. I got this right after I got home from being in the military. I was a Fleet Marine Force Corpsman in the Navy for 6 years. When I got home, I really wanted to finally get a vehicle that was a little less, hey, I need to take this across the country every couple of years, and more so something that I really wanted to be able to use to go and enjoy my other hobbies, aka getting out of the city and getting up into the mountains and the hills and camping and everything like that. I have a 1-inch lift on this from Anderson Design and Fab. My plan is to eventually take that up to a 2-inch. I have Falcon Wild Peak all-terrains on just OEM wheels at the moment. My plan is to do exactly what everybody else does because I really like the Sparco Terra wheels. You see the ditch lights here and the light bar on the roof rack. the light bar is actually routed through the OEM antenna because I don't use the radio all that much, and I live in Oregon, so it rains. Aside from that, just enjoying this vehicle as long as I can. Eventually, it's going to make the move up to Alaska with my wife and I, and I'm sure after that it'll get even more use and even more money dumped into it, but hey, that's kind of how we do it. I love this thing. The Baja is just, I've always wanted a Subaru, I've always wanted to lift a Subaru, and the Baja is probably the perfect thing I could have ever settled upon, and this one just kind of fell in my lap, and it's been great ever since.
Subaru had originally slotted to sell 24,000 units a year of the Baja, but by the end of 2006, they had only managed to sell 30,000 units in total across the 4 years. So it's no real surprise that the car was quickly discontinued. Bajas in great condition have gone up a crazy amount, even since I did my video back in 2020. And like I said back then, if you want one, you should pick one up right now. That being said, certain parts of these cars are now impossible to attain. But there are enthusiast groups out there dedicated to keeping these majestic, awkward vehicles on the road, so feel free to stop by and join a couple. I will have the groups that I have joined and am part of listed down below in the video description. But I think that's going to be a wrap on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. That's all I got for you guys, so we'll catch you in the next one.